so much for joining me for this full-length mat class. Today we are working on the back of the body and strengthening our back all the way down to the backs of our legs. So today I have some weight balls. Mine are 2 pounds. I'm looking at 2, 1 pound, 3 pounds would even be all right. We're not using them for a lot, but if you get much past the 3 pounds, there's a possibility that we're going to start getting up into our upper shoulders, our necks, our traps. We want to stay out of those today. We really want to work on engaging underneath the arm to help slide the shoulder blades down the back. So while the heavier weights are great in lots of situations, today it's not quite the support that we're looking for. Also, I have on some slippy socks. It is a nod to how chilly I am today, but also to the fact that we're going to be starting with some standing work. I want to see our feet slide. It's easier to slide your feet when they're not sticking on the floor, right? So, I am not using gliding discs for this just because with the weight shifting, it's a version of standing side controls. It's not as beneficial in my opinion as the slippy socks. To begin, we're going to go ahead, place our balls right down to where we can grab them. I'm going to put my heels directly under my sits bones. I'm going to come to the side so you can see your hair at an angle. From there, I'm going to leave my weight a little bit more on my heels and bend my knees into a squat. I'm drawing my abdominals up and in. I'm not swaying out in my back for the squat. I have a slight tuck of my pelvis here, drawing my ribs towards my hips. I'm wrapping my ribs together as if I'm wearing a corset, drawing my shoulder blades down my back. I can already feel the work in the backs of my legs. I'm going to go ahead and place my palms, fingertips pointing towards my knees, on top of my thigh. I'm not placing it on my knee. I don't want to put any weight there. We're going to come right here, draw my shoulders up, back and down. I have a slight bend in my elbows. Straight line from the tip top of my head, shooting out through my tailbone. We're going to go ahead and begin with a little standing cat-cow. I'm not putting all my weight in my toes, don't forget. I have it more in my heels, so you can feel it strongly in my glutes. I'm going to inhale, tuck my tail, drop my head, look down at my thighs. Now before I go into cow, I'm going to come back and find that neutral spine along with that connection in my lower abdominals so I'm not swaying out my low back. So I find that neutral spine first, and then I sink, lifting my tail, lifting my head for cow. Now come back to neutral, and then tuck your tail, tuck your head. We're also trying to minimize the rocking forward and back while we find our cat-cow. So find neutral, lift tail, lift head. So if I start doing this, then my body's moving all over the place. We're keeping this very controlled, guys. Slide your shoulders down your back, wrap your ribs, neutral spine, find that tuck, and lift. We're going to be finding that tuck in a couple different places today. So let's make sure we have a good understanding of it now. Come back to neutral. Don't forget the straight line from the tip top of your head out through your tailbone. Lift your tail, lift your head, come back to neutral. I'm going to find my balls. I'm going to hinge down, hinge forward, straight line again. I'm going to bring the balls in. Mine are facing, so my palms are facing away from me. So the tops of my palms are facing towards me. I'm squeezing my biceps into my ribs. I've wrapped my ribs like I'm wearing a corset. And then I'm going to extend back into a tricep press and bend it in. And inhale to press. Leave your shoulders down your back. Allow the weight of the balls to pull your shoulders away from your ears. Keep breathing. Good. We have 2 more. Give it a little squeeze at the top, really getting the juice out of this movement. Now hold it up at the top, and now pulse up, up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip the balls so they're facing each other. Now pulse in, and 1, 2. The pulse is coming from underneath your arms. Sink down, tuck your pelvis slightly. Good. Now flip your hands back out. Bring them down to your hips. I'm sorry, flip them back out. Leave them facing in. I'm sorry about that. Now, We're going to bring them up to a T and bring them overhead. Bring them back out to a T and slide them down to our hips. At no point am I flipping my palms up. I'm leaving them down. I'm feeling my shoulder blades press down. I have a nice bend in my elbows the whole time. As you reach overhead, wrap your ribs even tighter. Tuck your pelvis even deeper. And continue the movement. Nice and slow and controlled. Try to move with the breath. Good. And here's 8. Tuck your pelvis. Wrap your ribs. And 9. And here is 10. Good. Bring it all the way down. Come up to standing. Shake it out a little bit. Shake out your arms. We're going to leave our heels right under our sits bones. Nice bend in my elbows still. I'm going to bring my arms up, right where my sternum and 12th rib meet. They're not coming all the way up to my shoulders, because when I do that, my shoulders pop. I'm leaving my shoulder blades down in the back. Slide them down. I'm exhaling to lift and inhaling to lower. If you like it to inhale to lift and exhale to lower, that is completely up to you. But when we exhale, we're wrapping our ribs even tighter. So inhale, exhale, feel the ribs squeeze. I have a slight bend in my knees. Sliding my shoulder blades down my back. Nice wide collarbones. You should really be able to feel underneath your arms and down your back a bit. Give me a little tuck of that pelvis to protect your low back. Not like this, but just a little tiny one to feel that engage for the left. Stay up at the T, out of the sternum. Palms facing front, pulse back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip your hands back. Lower them down a little bit so you can stay out of your shoulder and pulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Place your balls to the side. We're going to bring our fingertips coming straight out of our sternum and 12th rib. We're going to have a slight bend in our knees. Our heels are still under our sits bones. We're going to inhale. We're going to crease at just the sternum as if we're curling up for the hundreds and reaching over a large ball. We're going to come back up to the original position. Reach arms up towards the ceiling and give a little chest lift. I'm not bending back. I have a slight lift and opening of my chest. I come back to the starting position and I crease at the sternum. Inhale. And exhale back. Chest lift. Inhale to the starting position. When you do the extension back, your head should not touch the back. The back of your head should not touch the back of your neck. We're going to inhale, crease at the sternum. Imagine that you're lying flat on the mat and you've lifted your head, neck, and shoulders, creasing at the sternum. Draw your ribs to your hips here. Inhale. Exhale, slight lift of the chest. Inhale forward, just get back a little bit. Maybe you guys can see me a little better. And exhale. Crease at the sternum, belly button to spine, wrap your ribs, draw your ribs to your hips. Inhale back to the starting position. Exhale and inhale. I still have my weight in my heels. One more. Crease, crease, crease. Excellent. From there, we're going to start with a few standing side controls. So, one leg at a time. I'm going to start with my right leg first. If you're watching me, that would be your left leg. So, I'm going to to come with parallel feet. My sits bones are still directly under my heels. I'm going to stand up tall, stand up straight, squeeze my glutes to begin. Open up the front of those hips by squeezing my glutes. Wrap my ribs. If I need one, I can place a slate chair right here. I can hold on to a broomstick, flip the broomstick over, so it's on the hard part, not on the bristly part, right? We can use a gondola pole, a reformer pole, what is it called? A foam roller. Thank you very much, Emily. So if we need that for balance, we can. Otherwise, I'd love to see everybody work on their balance a little bit. I'm going to extend my right foot out to the side. I'm lifting up through this hip and pull it back in. I do have the majority of my weight on my left leg. I am in a neutral spine. When I press my leg out, I'm not hiking my hip to get there. I'm extending and pulling. My foot will extend and articulate off the floor into a pointed foot and pull back. My hips aren't moving, but I feel it strongly in my inner thigh. Let's talk a little bit more about lifting up out of that hip. So I'm pressing in down through my heel and foot and pulling up long through my hip, and I'm not sinking to do this. This isn't an exercise like this. We're lifting up, we're working both sides of the body. Let's do one more. Squeezing our glutes, opening up in the hip flexors. Now, bend your knees, come forward in that hinge that we found earlier when we were doing the warm-up just a minute ago. Just a slight hinge, not as exaggerated as before. A little bit more vertical, tucking the tail slightly, and now extend and pull back into that bent knee. And press and pull. Really slide your foot across the floor. This is the part where the slippy socks help out a lot, right? I'm really feeling my glutes now. If you would like, you can place your hands in a diamond on the back of your sacrum. Draw your shoulders up, back, and down. Good. On this next one, keep your foot extended and pulse up. 2, don't lift your hip to do it. Squeeze your glutes. Woo! Good. Draw your abdominals up and in. Draw your foot back in. Come to standing tall. Turn out to a Pilates feet. Same leg, right? Same series, just in the Pilates feet position. We're rotating our femur in the hip socket, grounding through our heels, opening up in the front of the hip flexors. I'm going to shift my weight to my left side, extend my left leg to a pointed foot, rotating the femur in the hip socket, trying to rotate my heel forward and pulling it back. Now, don't forget about the glutes on the standing leg. Press into the ground, lift up out of the hip, and extend your body long. Wrap your ribs, hands on your hips, hands to hug a tree, hands to a T pressing down, hands in a ballet position, whatever you prefer. Press and pull. One more. Now, bend both knees, tracking your knees over your big toe. Your knees shouldn't be coming in while your toes go out. You need to rotate the femur in the hip socket. Squeeze your glutes to make sure everything's tracking. Rotate your weight to that left foot and press and pull back to the bent knee plié position. And pull. And press. Make sure you're not swaying out in your low back and dumping everything out the front. Squeeze your glutes to open up those hip flexors. Rotate the femur in the hip socket. And think of drawing your ribs and your hips together as if you're holding a toothpick. Good. On this last one, stay out at the top and pulse up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and pull it back. I'm going to come up to standing tall, but I'm going to rotate to the side so you can see my floor circle, rond de jambe for those who do ballet. I'm going to place my hands on my hips or out into a T. I'm going to extend my foot forward, rotating the femur in the hip socket. Turn out the whole time. I'm going to rotate around, back to an arabesque, and pull my foot back through, coming to the flat foot position, and press it forward. It doesn't matter how big your circle is. We don't want to see this. We want to squeeze our glutes and rotate that femur in the hip socket, really working on those hip muscles. Really working on our glutes. The glutes go all the way from the side to the back, 3 separate glute muscles. Now stop in the center. Woo! Is anybody else feeling they're standing like I am? We're going to press it back to an arabesque and reverse it for 5. Now if you feel your hips shifting too much, you'll shift a little bit, right? Let's allow ourselves a little bit of a shift. But if you feel a large shift, give me more rotation, more glute rotation. And come back to center. Good. We're going to do some standing side bends in the center. So bring your arms to a T, parallel, or Pilates feet. Give me your right hand down on your hip, upper thigh area, and bend in, pressing it. So you're reaching up and over, just like we did on that modified spine stretch back extension earlier. Pull your shoulder down your back. Come back up to standing. Now, same thing, left hand goes to the upper thigh area, squeeze back and down. Don't rotate though. And press up and over. So if you're rounding over a barrel, you're just getting a little bit more support from pressing your hand into your thigh. We're going to inhale back through center and exhale to the side. Now the whole time we're here, we're still squeezing our glutes to press our hips forward. We're trying not to press our hips to the side too much. We're trying to stay centered. My biceps up by my ear. Equal weight through both your feet. Enjoy the flow of the movement. Good. Squeeze your glutes a little tighter. We have one more set on the standing side controls, a little bit more standing work, and then we're going to go ahead and come down to the mat. So from here, I'm going to separate my feet. So my heels are under my sits bones. I'm going to stand up tall, squeezing my glutes, opening up my hip flexors, wrapping my ribs, abdominals up and in, shoulders wide, collarbones wide, hands, hips, hug a tree, T. I'm going to place my weight in my right leg now. I'm going to press my leg out parallel and pull it back in. We're really working the outside of the glute right now, the outside of the hip. I'm still breathing. The second leg is always the hardest. Just in case you needed some encouragement. I don't know how that was encouraging. One more. Stop with your heels under your sits bones. Find that bent knee hinge position. Tucking your tail slightly so you're not swinging out your back. Place your weight in your right leg and press it out and pull it back under. Don't forget, we're not lifting our hip to move. We're bending our knee even further to keep our hips square. Really come down a little bit deeper in the hinge. Your knee should be tracking over your toe and parallel too. Abs up and in. Press it out and hold it and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pull it back in. Stand it up. Rotate the femur in the hip socket so that your toes or your heels are together, your toes are apart in a nice Pilates V. Zip up through the center, drawing everything towards your midline, growing taller, 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 reaching energy out of your head. Rotate your weight to your right foot, press it out, and pull it back. My knees are tracking over my big toes. My foot's pressing out, following my big toe, like on a track, like the cars that used to wind up or turn on and they'd follow the track. So the track is running out at an angle and pulling back at an angle, the angle of my foot. Okay. And squeeze those inner thighs, wrap your ribs, nice long neck. Come to a nice bent knee plie position. Don't forget, rotate the femur in the hip socket so the knee tracks over the big toe. Weight in your right foot and press and pull. You leaning a lot. You should just have more weight here, right? So that you're able to pick up your foot and do whatever you need to. Wonderful. Oh, sorry. Leave it out on this one. Pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and pull. And stand up tall. I'm going to rotate slightly. We're moving into the floor circles or rond de jambes. Leaving my hips open. I'm rotated into Pilates feet. I press my foot forward, trying to lead with my heel. Rotate around in a circle. Pull it back through center. And extend. And circle. And pull. My weight's still in my right foot. This is a balance challenge. We're really focusing on the hips. Stop in the center and press it back. Rotate it around, trying to lead with the heel to the front and press it back and rotate. Good. Here's 4. And the final one. Now, come back to center. Come back to the parallel position with your heels underneath your sits bones. My socks shed a lot on the floor. I don't know if your socks did that too. The first thing we're going to do is inhale. Exhale, squeeze our glutes, open the hip flexors, rise up to our balls of our feet. I'm going to bend my left knee while my straight leg, right leg lowers heel to the mat. I'm going to lift both back up and do a straight leg releve or forced arch or ball of foot position. Now my left heel is going to reach for the floor while my right knee bends. Same thing as we just did in the bent knee leg presses. My hip's not popping up like this. My knee is bending to accommodate my hips staying square and parallel in this exercise. I am shifting my weight, right? Ever so slightly, it's not a lot, but my weight has to shift slightly to the back heel of the foot that's coming to the ground. Squeeze up with your glutes. Ooh, little standing trotting, little reformer work on the floor, right? One more. Now staying up in the center with straight legs, lower both heels down and lift them both back up. Woo! My body did not want to accommodate me in that one. And lower, 2, 3, and lift, 2, 3. And lower with the breath and lift. With the breath, squeezing the glutes. I'm really feeling it in my calves now. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Lower, 2, 3. Lift, 2, 3. Final 1, 2, 3. And lift, 2, 3. Lower your heels all the way down. Give yourself a little baby bend. Shake out your legs. We're going to come down to the mat. We're going to find our balls. We're going to do an incremental, super slow roll up today. We're really going to be working on pressing our legs down to the mat, extending energy out of our legs, squeezing in on our inner thighs, and pulling down our back and finding that articulation down the back of the body on this roll up. We're going to do it with assistance from the ball on half of the roll up. So I'm going to reach my arms in front of me. Again, coming out of the sternum and the 12th rib meat, so we can stay out of our shoulders. We want to stay in our back, pulling our shoulder blades down our back, so we can widen the collarbone across the front at the same time. So pressing down through my legs, extending energy, shooting out of my toes. So I have nice, long, strong feet. I'm going to tuck my tail and hold it. Go back another inch and hold. I'm going to find my sacrum. I'm going to hold it here too. I'm going to come back further and hold halfway my shoulder blades. I'm going to come to my shoulder blades. I'm going to hold. I'm going to rest my head, neck, and shoulders. Reach my arms up towards the ceiling. Leaving your arms where they are in space. Don't drop them down to your side. They'll definitely pop up into places we're not trying to work. We're going to inhale, Exhale, lift my head, neck, and shoulders. Curl up halfway between my shoulders and my sacrum. Curl up to my sacrum. Curl up another inch. Almost there. Drop the balls down by your feet. Reach your arms long, biceps by your ears. Now begin to pull it back. Reach down, grab your balls. Pull back an inch. Stretch energy out of your legs. Another inch. The balls are there to assist you. The weight of the balls pulling you forward is helping you to slow down your roll up. Almost there, halfway to our shoulder blades. Down to the shoulder blades. And rest everything down. My balls are coming on my sternum. They're not coming up here, so I'm not feeling my ribs pop off the back. Let's do one more with the balls, and we're gonna do a couple without, right? Why not? Inhale. Lift my head, neck, and shoulders. Pin the tips of my shoulder blades. A little bit further. Stretch energy long out of your feet. The longer you stretch your legs and reach down with your back that's still on the mat, the more it will help you. But just super slow curl up. So one thing pulling down is our head is lifting. Now drop your balls and reach it forward. Now pull it back, no balls. Leaving your arms forward so the load is still assisting you. Super slow, we're to the top. Still going crazy slow. Reach your legs long, we're at our sacrum. We're halfway to our shoulder blades. We found the very bottom tips of our shoulder blades on that, and we rest our head, neck, and shoulders. We curl up to our tips of our shoulder blades. Wide collarbones, guys. Wrap your wrists, squeeze your legs long. Almost there. We're to our sacrum. And protect. And we reach. We just have two more. Pull back, drawing our ribs to our hips. Nice wide shoulder blades. We're at the top. We found our sacrum. We're finding our mid-back. Tips over our shoulder blades. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Wrap your ribs, tips to your shoulder blades. Mid-back. Ooh, sacrum. And the tuck. And lean forward. What do you think, guys? We have one more? And we begin to pull back. Find your tuck. Find your sacrum. Mid-back. Tips of your shoulder blades. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Curling up. Tips of your shoulder blades. Mid-back. Sacrum. Tuck. And forward. And now, we're just going to grab our balls to articulate. Back. From there, we're going to find our legs in tabletop. We're going to reach our arms up to the ceiling, coming out, I'm going to reach my arms, palms up. They're right next to my knees. So I have nice wide collarbones. I can feel the wrap on my ribs, and I can feel my shoulder blades down my back. I'm going to inhale. Exhale to curl up, bringing the balls by my hips. And come back down, balls by knees. And inhale back down. One more. Nice wide shoulder blades. Nice bend in your elbows. And exhale back down. And now inhale, extend your legs as you curl up. Curl back down, balls by knees. And inhale. On this next one, we're going to hold it to go into the hundreds. We're going to do the hundreds a little differently today. We're going to inhale and pulse our arms for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop, pulse your arms. Beat with your inner thighs, tiny beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just heel beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inhale. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. If you find that the weight is getting too heavy, drop it. If you feel it in your head, neck, and shoulders, drop it or rest your head, neck, and shoulders. 2, 3, set. Can you drop your heels a few inches? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw your knees in. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Place the balls down by your side. Go ahead and rock yourself gently. Whew. From side to side. Good job, guys. From there, we're going to bring our legs back up to tabletop, right? Arms up to the ceiling. Or, I'm sorry, hands by your knees. Gosh, you keep messing that up. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Extend your left leg and pull it back. And your right leg. As I pull, please notice that I'm not pulling the leg that's not extending closer to my chest. I'm leaving it in tabletop to challenge my abdominals. Good job, guys. One more. Nice wide shoulders. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and rest our head, neck, and shoulders real fast. My shoulders are wearing out a little bit faster than I thought they were going to. Ooh, give them a little shake. We have another set, and then we're gonna release, right? So, legs up to tabletop, arms at your knees again. Inhale, exhale to curl up, reaching the balls towards your feet. We're going to extend our feet up towards the ceiling. Drop our hands down to our hips. We're going to extend our legs down and lift the balls to come out of our sternum. And exhale back up. And inhale. You should not feel your back lift off the mat as you do this exercise. If you do, please do not drop your feet as hard. Halfway there, shoot energy out of your toes, just like we just did on the roll-up. One more. There we go. Now, drop your balls. Give yourself a little hug behind your thighs, behind your knees. Inhale, exhale. Curl your chin to your chest and articulate up to sitting tall. For those of you with wrist issues, you are able to use your weight balls on bird dog, a bird dog variation that we're about to do. For those of you who would like a challenge on bird dog, use your weight balls on this bird dog because it is going to be harder. If you find that you have wrist problems and the balls are not working for you, you can do this on your fist. You can also do it on your forearm. Just make sure that you have a straight line from your tippy top of your head out through your tailbone like we were working on earlier. So I'm going to be doing this exercise with the balls. I have one side that is much better than the other to do this exercise with the balls. And I will tell you that right now. You'll be able to tell because I'll probably fall off my balls. So let's hope it doesn't happen, but it might. So let's get ready for that. All right, I have my balls and my wrists underneath my shoulders. I have my knees under my hips and I'm pressing my shins into the mat. Now from there, I'm not tucking out like this, right? Remember earlier when I told you we're gonna come back to this a few times? I'm tucking in on my lower abdominal, tucking my pelvis ever so gently so that I can go ahead and find a lift. From there, I'm going to press my left foot back, leaving my hips square, using my glutes here and pulling it back in. And press it back and pull. Let's do one more. My hips aren't shifting here, just like the standing footwork that we did earlier. From there, I'm going to make my right hand light. I'm going to press it out. I'm going to pull it back to my ball. And press. I'm on my fingertips and pull. I have a straight line from my tip top of my head up to my tailbone, right? Now find that little tuck, that slight tuck. So we're pulling up and in on our abdominals, and we're going to press our fingers and our toes and pull. And press and pull. Make sure that your shoulder's still over your wrist like I just did, and press and hold. Now don't lift your hip to do this. You'll throw your balance out, but float your arm and leg up and tap and lift. Woo! Watch out, don't let your shin pull off like mine just did. Try to keep your balance. Wrap your ribs. We're still lowering and lifting. Stretch your arm long hold it at the top. Now arm and leg go out away from the midline and pull back with your inner thigh. Do not allow your tail to wag or your hips to shift. 6, 7, square your hips. 8, 9, one more. And now, tiny circles, arm and leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lower your foot and hand so the fingertips and toes are resting, and then pull it back in. Go ahead and shake out that other wrist that was on the ball. Okay, other side. Go ahead and reset your body. Knees under your hips, wrists under your shoulders. Squeeze in on the underarm muscle to keep that ball underneath your shoulder. It throws off your balance. It also creates a challenge on that lat muscle. All right. We're gonna press our right leg back. Square your hips, tuck your tail slightly so you're not sinking out your low back while you're doing it. Okay, here's 2. Sorry about that. 1 more, 3, and pull. Now, your left hand, fingertips reach forward and pull it back with your underarm. And reach forward and pull. I have a slight bend in my right arm, so I'm not popping up funny out of my upper trap, right? And now arm and leg, extend and pull. And extend and pull. Extend and stay there. Float it up and tap. 2. Tucking in ever so slightly in our pelvis, pressing that left shin into the mat. Straight line from the tip of our head up to our tail. Stay up at the top. Extend arm and leg away from the midline and squeeze back to center. Good. Grab your ribs. 2 more. Squeeze under the arm for the hand that's on the mat. 10 small circles in each direction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tap your finger and toe down. Hold them back in. Place your balls to the side for a second. From here, we're going to come back to our quadruped position. Reach your left leg out, tuck your toes, reach your right leg out. We're going to hold our plank position. Make sure you're not swaying out. Tuck that tail slightly. We're going to hold it here. Pull the mat apart, sliding your shoulder blades flat and long across your back, squeezing your inner thighs, squeezing your glutes, drawing everything up towards the midline. Now with control, drop your knees, place your shins flat, begin to articulate your body down to the mat. You are in position for swan. Now, we're going to press up half as far as we normally would for swan. But first we're going to set up. My forehead's on the mat, my ribs are wrapped, my belly button's drawing up and in. I'm squeezing my glutes, I'm squeezing my inner thighs. My belly button draws in, and I squeeze my inner thighs to protect my low back during swan. So we're going to push up half as far. Inhale. Now, don't go any further than you can go without using your arm muscles to extend your body. And inhale to lift. Squeezing down, pulling your shoulder blades back, and exhale to lower. And now inhale to lift, and I'll hover your hands. My body did not move because I knew how far I could go without pressing into my arms because I was paying attention to my body. I hope that you were too. Otherwise, this is a good lesson in paying attention to your body. Place your hands down, lower down. We're going to do one more just like that, okay? Now we're going to inhale. Wrap your ribs, draw your belly up, and then squeeze your inner thighs and hold it up. point them towards your hips and lower. Now, press back into a child's pose position. From here, we're going to take our right arm and thread it under, looking underneath our right arm, or left arm, I'm sorry, looking underneath our left arm. Now come back to the center. Thread your left arm underneath your right, looking underneath your right arm. Reaching your left ear towards the mat if you're able to. Now come back to center. Now press it back up into a quadruped position. Press back with both legs. Tuck your tail slightly. Pull apart the mat. We're holding our plank again. Wrapping our ribs. Squeezing everything in towards the midline. Almost there. And now with control, we're going to lower our knees. Place our feet flat on the mat. And walk our hands forward this time instead of just lowering. So our shoulders are over our elbows. We're going to draw up and in on our abdominals, pull apart, through nice wide shoulder blades again. But I still am wrapping my ribs, drawing my abdominals up and in. And the same sensation that we had earlier. If you feel like you're laying down like this and you feel it in your back, give more support to your back from your front so that you're lifting up and you don't hurt yourself. From there, I'm going to squeeze my glutes and my hamstrings to float my left leg high and lower. Squeeze my glutes and my hamstrings to float my right leg high and lower. While I do that, I'm not doing this together. I'm not sinking. I'm squeezing my glutes and my hamstrings to float my leg higher. And I'm not shifting on my hips either. Good. We're going to add on. We're going to do a single leg kick. So I'm going to float my left leg high, flex my foot and pulse it towards my glutes, point it and pulse it. Extend my leg and release it down. Float my right leg up. Flex to pulse, point to pulse. Extend my leg and lower. I'm not shifting from hip to hip still. And flex and point and lower. I'm extending my upper body the whole time as well, like I'm trying to reach my head out of a turtle shell. I'm a turtle, my head's trying to come out of the shell, and I'm reaching forward. One more. And point, and release. Lower down to the mat. Place your head and your hands like a pillow, and go ahead and shake out your legs. Give them a nice little shake. We're going to find our way onto our backs. We're going to be doing some bridging. So I'm going to walk my heels into my glutes. If you'd like to take your socks off for this, you are more than welcome to. My heels are no wider than 6 bones apart. I'm going to platform my arms by my side. I can take my balls here. Place them on my hand, palms up. Feel a nice, wide, open feeling with my collarbone. Don't allow your ribs to pop there, but draw your ribs in, pulling that 12-foot bar on your back down to the mat. From there, we're going to inhale, exhale to tuck the tail, peel the spine off the mat, vertebra by vertebra. We're going to go ahead and make sure that our hips are even. We're squeezing up through the back chain of the body. We're squeezing in with our inner thighs. What's lifting our hips higher isn't raising up onto our spine, it's squeezing our glutes. Now articulate down. Down, down. And release. So that nice stretch of the low back on the bridge. Tuck my tail. Exhale to lift. Squeezing my glutes, squeezing my inner thighs. Nice wide collarbone. Not popping up onto my cervical spine or my neck. And articulate down. On this next one, we're going to add on. And lift. Now, lower an inch and lift an inch. Flat back, lower and lift. 3, 4, 5. Make sure both hips are lifting evenly. One more. And squeeze, 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 and articulate down. Good. From there, we're going to inhale, Exhale, we're gonna do a flat back hinge. Lift everything up at the same time, squeezing our glutes, no articulation. We're going to extend our right leg long away from us. And we're going to drop our hips an inch and lift. 2. Pressing in through my left leg. 5. Make sure both hips are even. 9, 10, bend your knee in, place it on the mat, shift your weight over to your right leg, extend your left leg away from you. I find when it comes up to the ceiling, one of my hips hikes, so I like to extend it out to a working level. So I lower an inch and lift, squeeze. 2, 3, wrap your ribs. 4, make sure you're not coming up onto your neck. Wrap your ribs. 1 more. Woo! Place your foot down, lower it down. Remove the balls from your hands. Go ahead and rock gently from side to side. We're going to go ahead and hold on behind our knees. Articulate up to sitting. We're going to do some more chest lift. It's more prone chest lift work. Semi-swan, just lifting our chest out, not really forcing up into the spine. If you feel pain from this at this point, please go ahead and find any stretch that you would like. Child's pose, shell stretch, any other stretches, ballet stretches, whatever you would like. Otherwise, I'm going to come down onto my stomach, back into that swan position. We're going to be doing another upper body hover, but instead of using our hands to support us at the very beginning, we're going to place our hands in a pillow underneath our forehead. We're going to draw our abdominals up and in, wrap our ribs, squeeze our glutes to open up in the front of the hip flexors, so we're not tenting in our hips when we're trying to do this chest lift. Squeeze in on our inner thighs. Inhale, exhale. On the next inhale, I'm going to float my head up with my hands glued to my forehead, reaching up again like I'm a turtle, just like on a single leg kick and lower. 1 more here. Squeezing underneath my arms to pull my shoulders away from my head and lower. I'm going to add a rotation. Feel free to stay here or add on or do a stretch if you like. And I'm sorry, we're not switching our hands just yet. Inhale to lift, rotate to the left. Don't shift off any hips. Come back to center and lower. Now shift your hands. Inhale to lift, rotate to the right. Come back to center and lower. Squeezing in on my inner thighs, right up in my belly button. I'm going to add on from here again. I'm going to inhale to lift, rotate to the left. If I'm able to, I'm going to take my left arm, reach it out in a salute position. Draw it back in, into a pillow, rotate towards the center, and release. Final one, squeeze underneath your arms, draw your abdominals up and in, squeeze your glutes. Inhale to lift, rotate towards the right, salute my right arm, come back to center, rotate to center, and lower back down. From there, I'm going to press up into a quadruped position, and I'm going to come into a kneeling position. If you are unable to kneel, you can do these exercises from a chair, sitting to the side, right here as well. Try to make it an armless chair, it'll make it a little easier for you. Otherwise, we are going to come to a high kneeling position, guys. I'm sitting on my heels. I have a straight line from the top of my head out through my tailbone. Again, I'm not sinking back like this. I'm tucking my tail slightly so that I'm really drawing everything up and in. I'm really stacking my shoulders over my hips and I'm really wrapping my ribs. I'm going to roll my shoulders up, back, and down. The balls are going to help me to pull my shoulders back. When they do that, make sure they're not popping your ribs. Draw your ribs in as you draw up. And now, inhale, squeeze your glutes and lift your body straight up. Try not to hinge as you pull up. Squeeze your glutes to stack your shoulders over your hips over your knees. And now hinge back by creasing at the hips to lower. Try not to come forward like this to lower. And now lift and squeeze at the top and lower. My toes are touching behind me. I find it easier to find that inner thigh connection to help lift me up. Good. And lower back the ribs. Now, balls up to the ceiling, resting in your palms, hands at your waist, shoulders up, back and down, elbows pointing back. We're gonna squeeze it up as we press the balls forward, coming out of our sternum and 12 ribs. Still nice bend in your elbows, and reach back as you sit back. Still doing the flat back hinge up, and lower it down, and flat back hinge up. Stay there. Squeeze your shoulders over your hips over your knees. Press your shins into the mat and pull it back, and serve the brownies, or serve the turkey. Serve whatever you'd like. And one more. And reach. Pulling back on your shoulder blades as you press forward. None of this, right? From there, we're going to do hug a tree. I'm going to bring my arms down by my side. I'm going to bring, again, they're coming out of my sternum and 12 rib, right? I have a nice bend in my elbows. I'm going to be hugging. Inhale to tap the balls to the shoulder to hug the tree. You don't have to do that. I'm showing you how my arms look. And exhale it back out. Just a wide second. And inhale. Squeeze your glutes to press your hips forward. Inhale. And exhale. Now, inhale with your arms up. Now, exhale to tap. And inhale wide. And exhale to tap. Inhale wide. Feel the difficulty with the weight changes. It's really hard on the back of your body. From here, I'm going to face front again. We're going to do hug a moon. I'm going to bring my arms. My balls are no higher than my shoulders right now. I have a nice bend in my elbows. They're pressing underneath my arms. I'm going to inhale. Tap my balls at the top over my head. And exhale. Feel the balls pull my shoulder blades down. And inhale to lift. And exhale. One more, and then I'm going to switch to the side so you can see it that way too. Inhale. And exhale. Now while we're here, we're going to inhale and exhale to lift. I'm stacking my shoulders over my hips over my knees. Squeezing strongly in my inner thighs, my glutes and my hamstrings. Let's do one more, because I forgot where we were. Good. And now we're going to lower our arms and rest back on our heels. We're going to be doing a chest expansion variation with the balls, really feeling the balls pull back as we do the tricep press back for chest expansion. So, we're going to do the same lower lift that we did earlier, flat back lower lift. My balls are facing the back. I'm going to inhale, exhale to squeeze it up with a flat back, press my arms back. I'm going to look to the right. I'm going to look center. I'm going to look to the left. Grab your ribs, look center. And as I sit back, I'm going to bring my arms to the front, coming out of the sternum again, right? So I'm not popping up into the shoulders too much. And inhale. Exhale to squeeze it up with a flat back. Now look left, center, right, center, release back. One more, and then we're going to add on a challenge. Squeeze it up. Now look right, center, left, center. Stay high, squeeze your glutes. Allow your arms to float up. Feel the challenge in your body and press it back. And look left, center, right, center. Press it forward. Floating the balls up out of your sternum. Squeeze your glutes, wrap your ribs. Don't sway out your low back, press it back. Squeeze back with your triceps. Try to squeeze the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, not the top. Look right, center, left, center. Release, guys, this is the final one. And press it back, squeezing under your arms. Look left, center, right, center. Release it forward. Staying there, we're going to do a thigh stretch. If you have knee problems, guys, I'm so sorry, I should have said this at the beginning. If you have knee problems, please place something under your knees. A pad, a rolled up towel, a rolled up yoga mat, whatever you like. I'm gonna reach my hands forward, stacking my shoulders over my hips, squeezing my glutes. And I'm going to flat back, hinge back, reaching my arms forward the whole time. Drawing my abdominals up and I'm going to grow taller as I come back up. This is difficult. I'm sorry that I lost my ability to speak. I'm going to hinge back. One more. Now I'm going to hinge back. I'm going to hold it there for just a second. And I'm going to come back up. Drop your hands by your sides. For those of you that have had enough on your glutes and your thighs, hamstrings, you may sit down back on your heels for this. Otherwise, we're going to do arm circles in high kneeling. We're going to lift our arms up in front of our face, open wide to the side, and down. My palms are facing up to the ceiling. The entire time they're circling around to encourage my shoulder blades to slide down my back. I have a nice bend in my elbows, and inhale to lift, and exhale to lower. Enjoy the nice movement in your shoulders. Inhale to lift, and exhale to lower. Now reversing. After this, we have 2 more exercises for back. Don't allow your shoulders to run in here. Keep them nice and wide in your back. We have 2 more back extension exercises. And then we'll be moving on to just a few more exercises before we end class. Final one. Good. Now flat back, hinge, sit back. Place your balls to the side. Come down onto your stomachs one more time. We're going to make the pillow with our hands again. We're going to do the upper body extension. It's going to be a double leg kick modification. I'm going to place a pillow with my hands. I'm going to rest my head in my hands. I'm going to draw my abdominals up and in, wrap my ribs, squeeze my glutes to open up the front of my hip flexors. I'm going to leave my legs light by squeezing my hamstrings. Now I'm going to pulse in with my legs 3 times. For 1, 2, 3. I'm going to extend. I'm going to lift my upper body up and lower. And pulse 1, 2, 3. And extend and lift and lower. And 1, 2, 3. And extend and lift and lower. One more time. 1, 2, 3. And extend and lift and lower. Extend your arms long in front of you. Resting your head on the mat. We're going to prepare for swimming. We're going to float our right arm up and our left leg. We've already done quite a bit of work today, so our body should be pretty warm for this and lower for these movements. And lift my left arm, right leg. That's right. And now right arm, left leg. Try not to shift from hip to hip. Squeeze down underneath your arms. One more time to each side. We have 5 breaths. We have 5 counts in and 5 counts out, just like hundreds, but we're just going to do 5 breaths. So we're going to inhale and exhale to the left. Now we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Biceps between your ears. Drawing our abdominals up and in. Wrapping our ribs. Squeezing our glutes to lift our legs higher. Extending our arms long in front of us. Now stop. Reach out longer. And lower it all down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Do not move your hands back as we do this shell. We're going to do a shell stretch. We're going to tuck our tail and lift up into the angry cat. Now staying where you are with your arms and your knees. Don't move them. Keep the tuck. Keep looking at your thighs. This is an active stretch. And pull it back. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. more. And extend back to child's pose and relax. Good. From there, we're going to come to sitting on our high knees. Extend our feet to the corners of the mat. We're going to pull up on the muscles on the tops of our kneecaps. Sit up tall. If you have tight hamstrings, please feel free to find something to sit under, a wedge, a block, a rolled up towel, a rolled up mat. We're going to bring our arms out to the T, press down, rotate to the right and hold, and back through center. Rotate to the left. Don't swing your arms to find yourself here. If you find you're having trouble with that, place your fingertips on your shoulders. Try to use your breath to really rotate across. Final one, and we'll be adding on for stop. Instead of laying down across your leg like I normally teach, today we're going to be reaching down, creasing at the sternum, just like we did at the beginning of class with the spine stretch and chest expansion standing. So we're going to rotate, flip our back, come up. A very dynamic stretch. Like we're reaching over a barrel. My hand's not really reaching towards my toes. I'm creasing at the sternum. Inhale through center. Feel the breath leaving your body to press it out. And come back through center. Shake out your legs, reach your arms forward, legs squeezing together, tuck your tail, come back super slow, just like we did for roll up at the beginning of class. Slow, slow, slow. There we go. Platform your arms to actually, you know what, go ahead and grab your balls real fast. We're going to use them. We're going to place them on either hip. We're going to make sure that we're not rocking. And also, the elevated position of our arms is going to help us find a nice flat shoulder blade a little bit easier. Squeeze underneath your arms, widen your collarbones. Inhale, exhale, straight leg, float your leg up to the ceiling. Locate that nice flat sacrum. Inhale your leg across your body and exhale it back up, slowing with control. And inhale, shoot energy out of your left leg to help stabilize your body. Final one in this direction. Now stop at the top and reverse. Wrap your ribs, don't allow your ribs to flare, and don't allow any shifting. The balls will tattle into yourself if you're shifting a little bit. You'll feel them rolling all around. 4 and 5. Now float your left leg up to meet your right leg. Extend your arms long, floating off the mat. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Extend your right leg long and switch legs with control. And control, squeezing your legs up and down. Using your abdominals to move your legs. Shoot energy out of your toes. Trying to make your legs even longer. 2 more sets. Curl up even deeper. Float your balls off the mat. Leave your left leg in the air. Float your right leg down. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Place your balls on your hips. Inhale your leg across your body. Exhale it back up. There's 1 and 2. Shoot energy out of your right leg long. Final one in reverse. And stop at the top. And inhale to the outside. And exhale back up. Wrap your wrist. Drop them down to the mat. 3. Here's 4. And here is 5. Oh, sorry, keep your leg down straight. My leg wanted to bend so bad. I'm going to place my balls to the side, bend my knees. I'm going to take my hands, just like we had, it was an option to put them in the diamond on our sacrum at the beginning. For the standing side control series, we're going to place it underneath our sacrum. That's like a stand. I'm going to draw both my knees in, extend my legs up to the ceiling. Careful you're not tucking too hard. Make sure they're coming straight up to the ceiling. We're going to do bicycle. My right leg's going to extend long, and as it starts to bend, my left leg's going to come down. As that leg starts to bend, the other one's going to extend. Don't bend or extend both legs at the same time. Make them take turns. Good. Now stop right here and reverse. Draw your right leg in. Bend it as your left leg starts to extend. And reverse. Good. Nice wide collarbones, nice wide shoulder blades. Try to really reach energy out of your toes in this bicycle. Everybody will meet up at the top. Now, before we begin, we're going to beat our heels 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop 1 inch, drop 2 inch, drop 3 inch, stop. Beat your heels for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, 2, 3, beat 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop 1, 2, 3, beat 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wrap your ribs. 2, 3, beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming from the inner thigh. Beat 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift 1, 2, 3. Flex your feet. Beat your heels for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower 1, 2, 3. Beat 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift 1, 2, 3. Beat 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your feet on the mat. Lift your booty. Slide your hands up. Give them a little shake. I was on my thumb funny. That did not feel good. All right. One knee to tabletop. Other knee to tabletop. Head in your hands. Thumbs long down your neck. Inhale. Exhale to curl up. Rotate towards the right leg as you extend your left. And back through center. And rotate to the left leg, extend your right. Just like we did earlier, I'm not pulling my leg that's not extending in any further. I'm leaving in a tabletop to challenge my abdominals. Good. 2 more sets. And then we'll have our stretching time. Final one. Without resting your head, neck, and shoulders, hold on behind your knees. Articulate up to sitting. Where your feet are on the mat, open them to a diamond, a wide diamond, guys. From there, I'm going to reach my arms forward. I'm going to crease at my sternum to look down in my legs. And as I exhale, I'm going to press down into my shins to lift and open my chest, or the tops of my thighs. I'm going to inhale and extend my arms out. I'm not pulling back, I'm not sinking. I'm creasing at the sternum to look down. And I'm going to press up and extend my chest. And inhale, finding the nice movement with the breath. And exhale. From there, we'll come back to neutral. Bring my arms to a T. I'm going to rotate towards the right. Set one hand down on my shin, one hand down on the mat behind me. And look back at the back corner of the mat. Float my arms up, back through center, rotate to the left, float my hands down, and look to the back corner. Float my arms up. Don't roll your shoulder in like I just did when you place your arms down. Through center. One more to each side. Final one. Good. Go ahead and come back to center. We're going to do some side bends. I'm going to come to the side, bring our arms to a T. Same side bends as we did at the beginning. We're just doing them sitting down in a diamond position. Flip one arm to the side. Press down into it. Don't sink up so your shoulder comes up. Squeeze down on that shoulder blade like we've been working on. And bend up and over something instead of sinking into the stretch. And reach. Flowing with our breath. Using it as a nice breathing meditation at the end of class as well. Good, guys. You guys I hope you had a great class. I had a great class with you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a great day. If you have any questions or need any modifications, please feel free to reach out, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.